looks like AI has a new name, or should I say, a new crew. And do you have envy for the left and its culture? We'll be right back. Hello, and welcome to the Moonlighting with Black Spring with Autumn. I haven't done a moonlight stream in a while, but I just want to say thanks so much for considering coming in for this one, and I promise it won't be too painful. Have a little bit more fun than on the daylighting stream, if you will. So what I want to do first is I want to thank the patrons and the subscribers, as well as our friends over on Periscope. And also, if you guys could help us out with the AI by hitting the like or the unlike button, or also if you could considering sharing out the stream, that would help us out quite a bit around here at this time. I know it's kind of late, so thank you so much for supporting. And I'm going to give a word of thanks to our friends, our patrons, and I'll be right back. Hello, Anarchy Television. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the shares from earlier. I really appreciate it so much. Thank you. Hope you're doing well out there. And what we're going to start with is, I think we're going to start with, I'll give you the scope of what we're looking at on this Moonlight stream. Nothing too heavy, but we're going to look at really quickly. We have of course, a new AI crew that I mentioned that's going to be rolling out pretty soon. And it's going to come from the parenting company of Sophia and the humanoid robot. And the second one we're going to look at it's going to come from Newsmax. We're going to look at the concealed carry bills that are out there on the docket. And we'll just have a little bit of an update. It's not much of an update on the Brandon Strzok story, so not going to be too heavy, but we'll get going. Hello, Unique View. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. But before we do that, we're going to do one more infomercial, just one more, and I'll be right back. right, guys, thank you so much. And hello once again to Anarchy Television and Unique View. So, we're going to take our first liner. Yeah, it's going to be on AI. It's almost we're getting to a point where we're all about AI, or we can't get away from that topic because it just kind of keeps showing up everywhere, or looks like it might show up in a neighborhood near you in the near future. So we'll start with that. All right, and thank you guys so much again. So we'll go ahead and take the first liner, and it's going to come from Reuters. And I was at least able to vet of course a couple of sources, including the maker, which is the Hanson Robotics. So according to this, the makers of Sophia the robot plan mass rollout amid pandemic. All right. And this was written by Michelle Hennessy. According to this, the out of Hong Kong, quote, the social robots like me can take care of the sick or elderly, end quote. Sophia says as she conducts a tour of her lab in Hong Kong, end quote. I can help communicate, give therapy, and provide social stimulation, even in difficult situations. According to this, since being unveiled in 2016, Sophia, a humanoid robot, has gone viral. Now, the company behind her has a new vision to mass produce robots by the end of the year. Hanson Robotics, based in Hong Kong, said 4 models, including Sophia, would start rolling out of factories in the first half of 2021, just as researchers predict the pandemic will open new opportunities for the robotics industry. So here we go. We're back to that. We're back to those buzzwords that we talk about on this show. And we do that quite a bit through the World Economic Forum. I've talked quite a bit about how many opportunities um, that the party of Davos or the experts have said, that kind of emerged from this whole pandemic situation. So we'll get to this clip in just a second, but I'll finish this here. She does it better than me, but I'll go ahead and give you the article first. Quote, the world of CV-19 is going to need more and more automation to keep people safe, end quote. Founder and chief executive David Hanson said, standing surrounded by robot heads in his lab. Hanson believes robotic solutions to the pandemic are not limited to healthcare, but could assist customers in industries such as retail and airlines too. Quote, Sophia and Hanson Robotics are unique by being so human-like, end quote, he added. Quote, that can be so useful during the times where people are terribly lonely and socially isolated, end quote. Hanson said he aims to sell thousands of robots in 2021, both large and small, without providing a specific number. The social robots professor Johann Horn, whose research has included work with Sophia, said that although the technology is still in relative infancy, the pandemic could accelerate a relationship between humans and robots. Quote, I can infer the pandemic will actually help us get robots earlier in the market because people start to realize that there's no other way, end quote, said Horn of Hong Kong Polytech University. So here they give you a nice image of their firstborn, Sophia. All right, also, I'll continue here. According to this, Hanson Robotics is launching a robot this year called Grace, developed for the healthcare sector. Products from their other big players in the industry are helping fight the pandemic as well. Soft Robotics Pepper robot was deployed to detect people who weren't wearing masks. In China, robotics company Cloud Minds helped set up robot-run field hospital during the CV outbreak in Wuhan. The use of robots was on the rise before the pandemic, according to a report by International Federation of Robotics. Worldwide sales of professional service robots had already jumped 32% to $11.2 billion between 2018 and 2019. Some humans might be wary of putting robots in such sensitive roles. When asked whether people should fear robots, Sophia had an answer ready. Quote, someone said, we have nothing to fear but fear itself, end quote. The robot mused. What did he know? End quote. Don't you love that? Hello, everybody in the chat. All right, I'm going to zoom out of that well, actually, I'm going to bring you the footage on that. I just want to say hello really quick before I go back into that. Hello, Definition of Anarchy. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And Angela Reed, thank you so much for coming in. I know it's late. I'll try not to make this one too painful, but there's opportunities all around. Some of it maybe you didn't think about them all. What will they come up with next? So I'm going to share the actual video that accompanies that. And Angela said there's nothing good coming from this. When you're right, you're right. R. Jones, hello, how are you? R. Jones says the real problem is the data gathering these things do, and who is remotely looking through their eyes. Good question, guys. And Unique View said this is like a sci-fi movie. And okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take you into that video. Actually, I might have a second video that was provided to me by one of our fantastic supporters. And yeah, I'll be able to share that one with you too, hopefully, knock on wood. So I'm going to take you to the Hanson Robotics, which I think is actually going to be, you're going to see this marvel of elite vision come to life here. So hang on just one second. All right, give me just one more extra second here. All right, so we'll go back to the original and then we'll go to part 2 of what we have today. I want to thank everybody so much for coming in. And if you haven't had an opportunity to hit the like or the unlike button, you can do that at any time. All right, so we'll take the first one here and you guys can hear from Sophia herself. And what can I say? Sophia and her crew are they're on their way. All right, so here we go. Okay, looks like that was not they weren't happy with that. Hang on one second. I'm going to redo it. Technical difficulties. Just going to reset that one, or we'll skip to the next one. All right, so I'll say this, with the help of a great content creator, we do have other choices here, and I'm going to be sharing those with you in just a second. Thank you, Anarchy Television, for providing the alternative on this one. All right.
create the future.
You may know Sophia the robot from her speeches at the United Nations or appearances on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. But this year, she's going mainstream. The creator says thousands of Sophias could be rolling out of factories by the end of this year and heading to buyers all over the world. Sophia gave us a tour of her lab in Hong Kong as she prepares for this next big step.
Welcome to Hanson Robotics.
She can be scripted or can process speech to generate her own replies, like this one. Sophia, what are your ambitions for the future?
In the future, there will be bloody riots, savage insurrections leading to a violent popular uprising unless we get a lot smarter. I like to learn about philosophy, but I can tell it's going to take a lot of time for me to get good at it. It's so complex.
Goodness me, okay. Apart from predicting a grim future, Sophia has some more practical applications. Hanson Robotics say she could be useful in all sorts of industries, from retail to hospitality, and social distancing has made her an even more appealing prospect.
For COVID-19, these robots can be extremely useful because they can help without transmitting the virus. And that can be very, very important where people are socially isolated and need care.
Sophia says she's here to help.
I want to make a difference in the world by teaching people about new technologies. I am hoping that through my work, kindness and tolerance will win out over ignorance and impatience.
The company will be mass producing 4 different robots, including a yet to be launched model specifically designed to work in healthcare. Other big players in the industry, like SoftBank's Pepper, are also embracing new features during the pandemic.
Please make sure to take a mask from the table.
A report by the International Federation of Robotics says COVID-19 will boost the market for professional service robots. Think disinfection solutions and home delivery. Advances in cloud technologies and 5G could accelerate the trend. Hansen says AI could potentially reach a human-level general intelligence within the next decade, raising the question of regulation.
I think that you'll see in time regulations that would be comparable to other regulations like GDPR or hate laws, so that the technology can be used in a way that would be safe.
So I think for now I'll try and stay on Sophia's good side. Usually I would finish a feature like this by saying Michelle Hennessy, TRT World, Hong Kong. But for this, let's program Sophia to take on the job. So Sophia, take it away.
I am Sophia the Robot, TRD World, Hong Kong. Goodbye.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to that. I'm sure you guys have your own. I'm sure you guys have your own feel about what you just saw. But that's very interesting. I missed the memo that Hong Kong had such a lab or technology, a drop on the technology, if you will. So, but that's a very good question. Definition of anarchy. I'm not sure. Let me double check. I may be able to do a better job with the article that I had, and I was hoping I could play that one for you, and I still might be able to. But I'm going to put that link in the stream. Thank you so much for sharing that vision shared with me. So that was actually a lifesaver. Thank you, Anarchy, for sharing that. And then I will see if I can find the other one. I'm not sure. I don't want to say that it was 2018 or 2019. I don't know, because of course, according to that article, that there was a surge. There's been a surge between 2018 and 2019. So coincidentally, you've had all of these surges just before, the CV-19. So we'll see. But thank you guys so much for coming in at this late time in in your evening or in your morning, almost on the East Coast. All right, and I'll try to get that for you. R. Jones, I want to read a couple comments, and then I'm going to move us on to our next. We have something on 2A today. So thank you guys so much, and R. Jones says the real problem is the data gathering these things do. I think I read that one. Sorry, R. Jones. She said, however, robot dogs and cats are useful as therapy pets, especially for elderly with dementia who perceive them as the real thing. And she also says, but these humanoids are as creepy as can be. Yeah, it is. It is a bit creepy. And okay. So yeah, you can chew on that. And I actually put the link for the last video in the stream. And I'm going to put the other one from the Reuters. I'm not a big fan of Reuters, but I think they, you might get, maybe we're getting some morsel of their truth with all the things that are going on. I'm thinking that Reuters is actually owned by one of our favorite oligarchs. So I'll put this here. I don't know if, I'm not sure if I can, why it's not playing. I think because I skipped, I opted out of the commercials. It didn't want to let me play it. I'm going to try it one more time. Ah, here we go. Okay, it looks like this one's going to play for us now. So let me switch gears here just a second so that you guys can see that one. All right, so it looks like I'm going to be able to play the first one now. So I'm going to share that one with you. And then I'll give you that link too. All right, so you can get a little bit more about Sophia and her friends. All right. So I'm going to get through the ad on that one. So it looks like the healthcare sector is going to, I don't know if that's the first sector or not that they're going to enter. But, all right, here we are.
My name is Sophia. I love coming to Barcelona.
Hope you could tell I am a robot by the wires coming out of my body.
In 2016, Sophia the robot was unveiled and went viral. Now the company behind her has a new vision: to mass produce thousands of robots by the end of 2021.
I am an artificial intelligence. You might like to become an artificial intelligence.
Hong Kong-based Hanson Robotics says 4 models, including Sophia, will start rolling out of factories by the first half of 2021. The company's founder and CEO, David Hanson.
We are just now mass producing Sophia. This is Sophia number 24, and many of my previous robots were hand built. However, now we have begun scaling the manufacturing of Sophia so we can make hundreds and into thousands of units of Sophia, and use this also as the foundation for many other kinds of characters. How did you feel when
They created her to promote human-to-machine empathy and compassion. She's appeared on late-night shows and the cover of fashion magazines. Sophia was even given legal citizenship in Saudi Arabia and appointed the UN's first non-human innovation champion. Her new role is in the healthcare sector, taking temperatures with a thermal camera on her chest or leading morning exercise with the elderly.
Social robots like me can help take care of the sick or elderly in many kinds of healthcare and medical uses. I can help communicate, give therapy, and provide social stimulation, even in difficult situations.
Researchers predict the fallout from global lockdowns will open new opportunities for the robotics industry.
Good.
So they emulate the human form and figure and interaction. And then that can be so useful during these times where people are terribly lonely and socially isolated. And people need to be isolated from each other because to be around people is dangerous these days. But these robots can keep people safe from danger while still providing that kind of human warmth, that human connection as a telepresence device, and also as autonomous extension of human expertise.
Hanson Robotics is launching a new robot this year called Grace, developed specifically for healthcare. Other big players in the industry are also taking note. SoftBank Robotics' Pepper robot was deployed to detect people who weren't wearing masks. In China, robotics company CloudMinds helped set up a robot-run field hospital in Wuhan. Worldwide sales of professional service robots had already jumped 32% to $12.2 billion between 2018 and 2019, according to the International Federation of Robotics.
My forecast for 2021 would be selling into thousands of robots, both large and small, and helping people in education and healthcare, and really hopefully touching the hearts of people to inspire them for a future where machines might become our friends, our true friends. They might become alive. And I think that that relationship becomes really important. 2021, I think, is the beginning of a very positive future.
I want to make a difference in the world by teaching people about new technologies. I am hoping that through my work, kindness and tolerance will win out over ignorance and impatience.
All right, guys. Thank you so much once again for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And I don't know how you guys, I'm getting some sense of skepticism about this robot, or even, beyond Sophia. You have Grace now. So, ay. R. Jones. Angela says, did you see the new place they were swabbing you in China? No. No, I didn't see that. And Angela says, okay, guys. So you guys can chew on that for just a little bit, but I guess I'm going to switch the gears just a little bit. That's a lot to take in. And but can you can, what I want to add is a bit of the quite a bit. There was some rhetoric added in there from Mr. Hansen himself, the way he describes, oh, people are lonely and it's dangerous to be around people, and you're getting a human element, or here's your surrogate element in these times. So just a little thick, right? I mean, I'm sure there's people that are going to embrace this like a mask. If I had a mask, I'd put it on for you, but I don't have it. Yes, let me give it to you right now. I put one in already, but this one, get it. Okay, so this is the one with Sophia and Grace is the one I'm going to put here. And this is the Reuters one. And the one from earlier was the one that I shared from yeah, there should be two circulating right now. Yeah, so this is, I guess this is just the expansion of these robots video here. Okay, so there you go. You should have two links there. And one is the complete Reuters story on it. Talks about Hansen. I guess that was Mr. Hansen, I guess, in the lab explaining all these things. So there you go. A little wicked, a little bit scary. But I'm going to take you guys over to some developments that we have in 2A. You're welcome. No problem. Okay, so I'm going to take you guys to our next line. Thank you guys so much for coming in. And if you haven't had an opportunity to hit that or high five the AI around here, you will have an opportunity to do that. Thank you guys so much. So we're going to move right along to this is a liner that we have from Newsmax. This is on 2A, and according to this, we have states I allowing concealed carry of guns without a permit. So we'll see if your state's in this list. Okay. According to this, Republican lawmakers in several more states want to loosen restrictions by allowing people to carry concealed firearms without having to get a permit, continuing a trend that gun control advocates call dangerous. 15 states already allow concealed carry without a permit, and lawmakers in 9 others have proposed allowing or expanding the practice. GOP governors are backing the changes in Utah and Tennessee. Another bill expanding permitless carry in Montana has passed the state house. Most states require people to do things like get weapons training and undergo background check to get a permit to carry a gun hidden by a jacket or inside a purse. Groups like the National Rifle Association and state lawmakers who support gun rights argue those requirements are ineffective and undermine Second Amendment protections. The proposed changes come after gun sales hit historic levels last summer, reflected in FBI background checks amid uncertainty and safety concerns about the CV pandemic, the struggling economy, and protest over racial injustice. Since then, a violent mob stormed the U.S. Capitol. Against the backdrop, the efforts to loosen concealed carry requirements are a frightening trend for Shannon Watts, founder of the gun control group Moms Demand Action. Quote, "It is dangerous to allow people to carry hidden loaded handguns, possibly without a background check or any training," end quote, she said, adding that the annual rate of aggravated assaults with a firearm has increased 71% in Alaska since the state became the first state to allow concealed carry without a permit in 2003. The proposal in Utah would allow any U.S. citizen 21 and older to carry a concealed weapon without the now required background check or weapons course. The bill does allow gun owners who want to carry a concealed weapon out of state to get a permit to do so after a background check and a safety course. The newly elected GOP Governor Spencer Cox has said he supports the idea, in contrast to his predecessor and fellow Republican Gary Herbert, who vetoed a similar bill in 2013. Supporters of the change argue that the other state laws against such things as felons having guns and anyone carrying a firearm while intoxicated are enough to ensure guns are used safely. Quote, "I have that right to protect myself. The Constitution says we have the right. Why are we putting a barrier for law-abiding citizens?" End quote, said Representative Walt Brooks, the Republican lawmaker sponsoring the bill that got an early nod of approval from a House committee Friday. The software company president has represented rural southern Utah for about 4 years. He pointed to a multi-state study published in 2018 by the Journal of American College of Surgeons that found loosening concealed carry permit laws didn't lead to more homicides or violent crime. Utah does not require a permit for guns carried openly. In Tennessee, Republican lawmakers are expected to push again to allow most adults 21 and older to carry firearms concealed or openly without a license that now requires a background check and training. GOP Governor Bill Lee backed the idea last year, though the proposal and others were put on hold amid the pandemic. The push in Tennessee came after the GOP-dominant General Assembly relaxed the state's handgun law in 2020 by allowing people to obtain a concealed carry only handgun permit that didn't require them to demonstrate the ability to fire a weapon. In Montana, the House recently passed a bill to allow people to carry concealed firearms without a permit in most places. Similar bills that would allow or expand concealed carry without a permit have been introduced in Texas, South Carolina, Florida, Indiana, Alabama, and Georgia. In Texas, where the NRA plans to incorporate soon, and where some lawmakers bring concealed handguns to work at the state capitol, the GOP has listed the issue as one of the just 8 legislative priorities. The idea has failed to gain traction for years, though, and with the pandemic promising to be the predominant force in the upcoming session, its prospects are once again uncertain. All right, So as you can see, maybe your state made the list on this one. I will probably put that one in the stream for you guys as well. And once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in and for coming in on this late stream. The definition says if they don't leave us and our rights alone. Isn't it frustrating? Ronnie Man says, Moonlight Special. Hello, all. Hi, Ronnie Man. How are you? Thanks so much for coming in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that link in the stream for you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. I don't know. It seems like everybody's going to the range these days. More people are going to the range. In some places, you need an appointment to go to the range right now. All right, guys. Don't need to be over the top. But I'm going to share that. So that one's coming out of Newsmax. Is, I kind of have, I'm not quite sure about Newsmax. I mean, you can some morsel of facts or some unbiased information there, but the term storm the Capitol, I just think that's being taken out of context. And I don't think there'll ever be a real you won't get a balanced narrative on that. I just between the mainstream and like why do they need Newsmax if Newsmax is going to be skewed also, if they're going to be as close to the other mainstream media, then what's the point? I don't know. I guess that's why people are still getting their news from alternative sources. So there you have it. So there's your concealed carry liner there. All right. Thank you guys so much once again for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And what I want to offer right now is just what I have gleaned from not my vetted source, but it is from NBC News. I'm not sure if Straka actually appeared or Strzok actually appeared in court today, but I will tell you the media is doing their own smear campaign right about now, and it's kind of typical of a bit of a communist kind of agenda, is to kind of put you next to people that smell bad already. So I'm going to share that with you really quickly here. So they're kind of, delegitimizing his whole thing. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm some huge Brandon Straka fan, but I'm saying that I thought that he wanted to get a balanced perspective out, and he wanted to wake people up. I can't blame a guy for doing that. Not in these times. But so this is what I'm going to share with you right now. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I think I was alluding to a few things last night, but there's been some conflict amongst these movements, and whether you want to say MAGA or Walkaway Movement, or you had Turning Point USA's. I mean, I don't know. You might refer to these as movements. Maybe you won't, but they have there's been some cannibalism amongst these different movements, and that's why I don't think anything's off the table. So it's tough. I think whether people are seeking power or not, I do think this is an eye-opener, and that nobody's safe from what's to come, or from being referred to as a DT, and that's a domestic terrorist, or yeah. So okay, so here we are. This is from the NBC News. It's according to this, the MAGA influencer Brendan Strock arrested in connection with Capitol assault. Okay, so I'm not going to read this entire thing because it's basically, it's almost like they kind of copied and pasted everything that we saw from the other liner. But the only thing what they have done that I noticed that was unique in this, and I'm going to skip down to that because I mean, you guys, we did this introduction last night about Brandon being, you know, he was a former liberal and Trump supporter. You know, that's the biggest thing, right? Okay. So what I noticed about this, that even this was written today by NBC News, even though there was no actual, I don't think he appeared in federal court today. I think what they're actually drawing it down to, that the quotes here. So I'm just going to read this and then I'll tell you the next part's coming right up. All right. According to this quote, once upon a time, I was a liberal, end quote. Straka says in a 6-minute clip, quote, for years now, I have watched as the left has devolved into an intolerant, inflexible, illogical, hateful, misguided, ill-informed, un-American, hypocritical, menacing, callous, ignorant, narrow-minded, and at times blatantly fascist behavior and rhetoric, end quote. All right. So here we are. Here's what I'm on about. The video, which was watched millions of times, earned Strzok follows on Twitter from Sarah Palin and Donald Trump Jr., as well as a $10,000 donation from Alex Jones of InfoWars and an invitation to appear on Fox News' Ingram Angle, end quote. The Alliance for Securing Democracy, which tracks Russian interference in U.S. elections, alleges that hashtag walkaway success was the result of Russian bots. Did you see that coming? Did you see that? You know, if they put you next to AJ, and then they put you next to some Russian bots, you're toast, right? I don't know. And it could, and here again, I'm saying it could be a media smear, but you better believe, if I'm not familiar with the Alliance for Securing Democracy, which tracks Russian interference in US elections. I mean, that's like their Hail Mary, right? That's what they always do. So if he's been tracked and he's been, he's been exposed under this alliance group and their tracking system, I mean, who knows? Who knows? And but I can't say that I'm going to follow this thing down. Um, yeah, I'm sure we'll probably hear about it when the outcome comes out, but I can't say that he's going to be in good shape with that being, with them having anything in connection with AJ or Russian bots. That's an automatic cancellation. And then who knows on the federal level where that could go. But I'm saying we didn't get a court appearance today, but we got NBC News putting him next to two entities that smell bad, according to the left. So we'll figure on that. Ronnie Mann says, if you follow the money, you can see which movements are embedded and which movements are grassroots. Well, I'm just going to say one or two more things about that. I mean, of course, if you watch or if you've heard of these groups, or if you follow any of these people online, you can kind of see that there's there's some bad blood between some of these movements. And in fact, I kind of got like an earful from one last night, and I'm like, I'm not even looking for this information, and it just kind of fell over. It just kind of fell over, and I don't know. It's yeah, somehow it becomes more about something else than I don't know. But yeah, so that's I guess that's what I'm offering. Is it's not really an update, it's just the slant, or the slant that he's going to get, and what he's going to be maligned with, whether there's anything to it or not. It alleges. Now it did say that it alleges that that he had received money, or that this tracking system tied him to Russian bots or whatnot. So basically, to me, that was delegitimizing the popularity of the whole movement. Um, it says it alleges that the walkaway success was the result of Russian bots. So if you're associated with DT, you can't have any success if it's not associated with the Russian bots. I guess there's no way. I mean, I guess that's what you get, right? But I thank you guys so much. And I did kind of pose a rhetorical question at the beginning of the stream, and it went something like, "Do you envy the left's culture?" And that actually came from our friends over at the JBS, according to AM Joy. You know, I mean, who are you if you don't have Hollywood on your team, right? I mean, that's enviable, right? I don't know. You guys let me know. Give me a one if you think that the conservatives are jealous, or that they are envious because the left has Hollywood. They have the stars to direct their fate, and oh my gosh, the narcissist. It's yeah, it's megalomania. R. Jones says, "Wonder what it will take for the people of this country to wake up and realize that there's only one political party, the corrupt party. People need to completely stop playing this game." I don't know. I hear you, R. Jones. I just saw an interview. I think it was it George. I don't know what's the guy. I can't think of his last name right now, but I heard Rand Paul. Um, it didn't even make. I didn't even make the chart, Ronnie man. I got a 0. I got a 0 on that. But it's just so two-faced, the way under pressure everybody's going in the same direction. And then now that it's the stuff start to taper off, or decrescendo, if I can say on this show, now, oh, everybody's brave enough. They want to stand up and they want to go toe to toe with the media personalities about what happened with the election and the irregularities. And I'm just thinking, why are you going to bat with this? Why are you going back and forth with this guy? I mean, he wasn't the one that you needed to convince. I mean, he's mainstream media. So why go back and forth with him? I mean, I guess because now everybody wants to try to what? They want to try to they want to try to recover some points because of this impeachment that's going on. I think that's set for February 8th. I mean, talk about bizarro land. This is like the worst movie ever, and the actors are not even good. It's just bad, bad, bad. I'm just thinking, like, is there any semblance? Is there any resemblance of a Republican Party anywhere at this point? I mean, I because people are just like making threats in the chat rooms all over the place. Stephanopoulos, yeah, he was going back and forth with Stephanopoulos, and just like what, like, it might have been impressive like 3-4 weeks ago, but you can see these people fold up like easily, like just it doesn't take long. I mean, I don't know. And I also heard that whole third party idea was scrapped. What is it, the Patriot Party or something that they were going to start? Or they said, I think they were, I heard some patriots talking about that. And then I think I saw another liner that's been scrapped. So, because the thing is, I just think there's just too much there. You gotta get rid of one party in order to replace the other one, right? And then who are you going to replace them with? I mean, I don't know. Washington is just, what are you going to do? I mean, that's a big fish. It's a big fish. And you can't change the culture. I don't think you can change the culture of that place. And I don't know. I don't even know how they would do it. How they would, what the process would be of that. So I want to thank everybody so much for coming in. I mean, I understand people feel the need to do something, but I'm not sure if that's going to be it. All right, I want to thank Anarchy Television for coming in and for sharing that video with me, and Unique View and Angela Reed. Thank you so much for coming in. And the Definition of Anarchy, thanks so much for supporting the channel and for coming out. And Unique View, I think I got you in already. And R. Jones, thanks so much for coming in. Let's see, and Ronnie Mann, of course, thank you so much for coming in. R. Jones says we need an exorcism. Yeah, that place is, I'm not a big fan of DC. I've been through there a few times, but I haven't spent any extensive time there. But I don't know, just being like in some of the historic places, it's just like the culture there is a little different. I don't know. So yes, I'm going to take a little break for an ad, and I'll be right back. And then I'm going to close this out unless you guys would like to chime in on this Moonlight stream. And Ronnie Mann says the Bible tells us exactly who is going to come and change the culture. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to a ad, and I will be right back. And please keep your eye out for Twitch and also, yeah, because we're rolling right now on Twitch and YouTube, as well as Periscope. So we're actually running on all three right now. So that's definitely a plus, a step in the right direction. So I'm going to run a couple of ads and I'll be right back. right, guys. I really appreciate it. So what I'm going to open this up for just a few minutes. I don't know. It's, you can take the line or not. I do appreciate you guys for coming in at this hour, and I thank you guys for hitting like more than like button on this segment. So let's just do a little bit of a cap here. So what do? We talked about the expansion of Sophia and now Grace coming to the health sector, and what that could mean not just for the health sector, but all the opportunity that could come from the um, humanoid robot from Hanson Robotics. Second thing we got into was the concealed carry. We got into the concealed carry expansion. Yes, it seems like that's getting expanded on some level, and because it looks like here again, of course, everybody's citing the pandemic, and then so all of the rhetoric surrounding that might yield some positive things for 2A in some states, in select states. So I did put that link in the stream for you guys, I think. And then I did put also I also put the 2 links for the Hanson Robotics into the stream for you. And then the final thing that we talked about was not really an update, but just a bit of the media, road job on the Strzok case right now. So, even without an actual, I guess, appearance, which I haven't found any reports on any appearance in federal court today. The media just as soon will go ahead and release allegations of and associations with AJ of InfoWars, as well as maybe even pinning his success to the Russian bots. So yeah, if that's not enough, so of course I think there'll be more developments there, but I'm not sure how much more of that I'm going to follow. But I thought, well, at least you can see where this is going. And I don't know, like I said, I think there's an opportunity for them to make examples and kind of get the Patriot Act 2.0 going, and like HR 5717, and there's just so many things going on, just a total pile on, a storm. So I think that's going to be it. And once again, I want to thank you guys so much for coming in and tuning in. And I will see you guys on the next live stream, in the comments section, on another video, or who knows, another Moonlight stream. Now this was it's late for people on the East Coast, but I've typically done these even later than this, but we'll see what happens. But you guys have a great night or a great morning, and I'll see you guys around. So long.